Hey, everybody, the two geeks are back at it again. Woohoo! Hey, everybody, I'm so excited about today because today we are talking Berserker. And for those of you who know about it and know Keanu Reeves is involved, this is not John Wick 2.0, by golly. But what is it? Hang in there because this is going to be a really interesting show today. Welcome to Two Geeks and a Microphone.
Hello there. So who talks first? You talk first. I talk first.
I will talk first, everybody. Welcome to the show, Two Geeks and a Microphone. I am your co-host, Mr. Stephen Boster, along with the one, the only, the most illustrious, the most campy, likes to go camping in the summertime dude himself, Mr. Michael Shanks. Mike, say hey to everybody.
Good morning to all you geeks out there in Geekdom Land. It feels good to be on this side and not have to do the intro. Where you been, slacker?
I know, right? Well, thank you everybody for letting me have a little bit of a hiatus. It was much needed, and I really appreciate it. And it is good to be back, especially for today's topic. And we'll get more into that in a little bit. But I am more than happy. I got to give a big shout out to Mr. Brian Ramsey from Three Geeky Dads. Thank you. Great job. He's always fun to have on the show. I remember when you did your first camping trip this season, and he and I hung out together. It was a blast. I really enjoyed it. And then big old thanks to Mr. Theron Too Cool Lowry himself for filling in, especially on the Spider-Man. It was good to get his perspective, and I always enjoy that. I really do. So it was splendorific. So Theron, thank you so much for helping us. I am looking forward to more as what we've got coming up and all the things you've got slated, which you've got a nice little slate coming up and all. What next week? Next week is another versus, isn't it?
Yes, next week we're going to kind of do our road to Flash in a way. So we're going to do a versus episode. Mr. Brian Ramsey and Mr. Theron Too Cool Lowry will be back with us to discuss who comes out on top, Quicksilver or the Flash. I'm excited.
I will say I like your list that you've created. It's really good, and so I'm looking forward to how things, quote unquote, flesh out next week.
Well, we did that first official versus episode. That was what was it? Iron Man versus Cyborg, and we never really came up with a definitive answer to who could win. And yeah, I know Stanley always says you never give a definitive answer because then nerds argue all for the rest of eternity. But we got to come up with something, you know.
Well, it's our arguing mechanism. Let us argue that.
Right. So this way we actually come up with a definitive answer. I have an idea of who I think will win next week's matchup. I mean, partially, I am slightly biased to the DC side on that, but I think Flash is way more powerful than Quicksilver any day.
Yeah, agreed.
But it should be fun. Should be a
Quicksilver
fun.
Go back in time and screw things up.
You know, I this week I got to do some more studying on Quicksilver, and we'll discuss that next week.
Right. Right. But in 2 weeks, speaking of Flash, 2 weeks is
now. So the movie premiere is this coming weekend. Okay. So this next week is the movie premiere, but we're going to hold off on doing our review till the following week. I was trying to get a special guest on board onto that.
Still working on it.
Yeah, he's kind of hesitant about being on the show because he's concerned about his DC knowledge, and I'm like, don't worry about your DC knowledge. Don't worry about that. I want you more on for your love of Michael Keaton than anything else.
Mm-hmm.
So I won't say who it is in case he can't make it for sure. We've discussed back and forth a little bit. Sounds like he's probably not going to make it, so I don't want to say who it is.
Gotcha.
But I'm going to give it one more shot. And I was trying to give him an extra week to be able to see
really see what it's. Yeah. No, it's okay.
So that's
Very
where we are
nice.
right now.
Okay, well, cool beans. Well, hey, we have got a jam-packed show, everybody. So I apologize for having to squirrel a little bit, but it's been good to catch up, and we've got more stuff to catch up on. So if you're new to the show, everybody, welcome. Glad you're here with us. We do a couple of segments. We do our geeky news, where we talk about what's happening in the news, and then we also do Geekdar, which is kind of what things are we geeking out about, and then we move into our main event with our topic today being specifically the world of BRZRKR. Mike, man, I've got some questions for you.
I don't know if I can answer them on this. This is not my expertise, let's just say. I mean, there's only been this series, but we'll get into that.
Right,
How about we
right.
jump into some geeky news?
Sounds good. Go for it.
Okay, so first up on my radar, I'm trying to find my article.
First up on the list,
Up on my list, and there we go. So apparently Disney's or Marvel's Captain America New World Order, they've decided to change the title. It's no longer going to be New World Order. It is now going to be called Brave New World. Yeah, I want not Metallica. I want Iron Maiden's song "Brave New World" to be the theme of that. Then
it just may be.
I doubt it, but it would be the greatest Marvel movie ever if they did that. But I kind of have my doubts it's going to be the greatest Marvel. I no offense to what is it? I can't think of the actor's name. Mackie. No offense to him. He's done a great job. He's done a great job. I just
this is not on my Geekdar, but I finally did watch Quantum Mania.
Oh, cool.
And I'll have to say, well, I mean, it was a spectacle. It was fine. It wasn't bad, but it seems like all the Marvels. I don't know if I've got Marvel.
Yeah.
Fatigue.
Marvel fatigue. There's a lot of question of that. There's a lot of question of is there Marvel fatigue and is there Star Wars fatigue right now?
Never say such a thing. I'm just kidding.
It's a thing that's it's a thing that's out there. Right now I don't say there's Star Wars fatigue because right now we're kind of in a low point of Star Wars.
Yeah, there's nothing Star Warsy. Yeah.
Right, awaiting the Ahsoka series, which I can't wait for. I think it's going to be amazing. After all, we are getting Heir to the Empire, and I'm looking forward to that. And finding out exactly what that entails. But anyway, Marvel changed the name of the new Captain America movie. It will now be Brave New World. So moving on from that, we have a new animated DC feature coming up. It's going to be called My Adventures with Superman. This is a look at a younger Superman. So we're going to see him in his early stages of his career as Superman. I loosely say career. I don't know how you would interpret that, but I just wonder, is this kind of James Gunn's sort of introduction into what's going to be his new Superman movie? Because he says that his new Superman movie is going to be basically like year 2 of Superman, similar to the way they went with the Batman, and the fact that was year 2 and not year 1 of Batman.
Interesting.
So I'm kind of wondering if this is James Gunn's way of saying, here's a little taste of what may be to come, only in animation form. I don't know. we could see.
We'll see. We'll see. We'll yeah. Huh.
Now, the interesting thing about this, though, the thing
Yeah.
I find interesting, this premieres next month, July 6th, I believe was the date. Yes, July 6th, Thursday, July 6th. This is going to be on Adult Swim. That seems like a weird place for
Instead of Max?
Yeah, I don't get it.
Yeah.
Why are you putting this on Adult Swim? It just, and I don't know. Superman, I associate Superman being a family friendly oriented, series.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't associate Adult Swim with that. You know what I don't get it.
That genre.
Yeah.
Or that theme, or Adult Swim is adult cartoons.
Right. Family Guy, Futurama. I was looking at their list, and there's some weird stuff on there too.
Interesting. It's interesting. Well, James Gunn stuff has always been more adult. I mean, Peacemaker. Holy moly.
I understand that, but this is Superman. Come on.
Agreed.
You're not gonna get. I hope we're not getting Superman after dark.
The American way. Yeah, kind of a thing.
Yeah, let's not do Superman after dark. Come on, I don't need that. I just don't need that. It's like, what are you doing, James Gunn? I don't get it.
Funny. That was
strange. I figured it would end up on Max, if not on Max, at least over on Amazon, where the Batman animated series is going. The one that you keep doubting.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
I got you doubting the Batman animated series, and I got Megan doubting Beetlejuice 2.
and you're doubting, the Superman early years or whatever being on Adult Swim. So
I'm not doubting it. I'm just questioning why. I don't understand why. The heck is the point in that? Anyway, that's my geeky news for today.
Gotcha.
All right.
Okay.
Ready for some geekdar?
Let's do this.
All right.
Well, you don't need that, Private. We're right here. Now, what is it? Now, what is it? I'm having trouble with the radar, sir.
What's wrong with it?
I've lost the bleeps, I've lost the sweeps, and I've lost the creeps.
The what? The what? And the what?
You know, the bleeps, the sweeps, and the creeps.
That's not all he's lost.
I will say it was pretty funny, everybody. While the video plays, I looked at our studio screen, and both of us are sitting there going, "Time for a drink."
So true. And I've got my iced coffee this morning with Dunkin' Donuts Turtle Love coffee and vanilla caramel creamer.
Oh man!
Do you say caramel or caramel?
I say caramel.
I do too. I say caramel. I know some people say caramel.
You say caramel. I say caramel. Yeah.
That's weird.
Yeah. Okay, so let's talk Geekdar. I got a ton, everybody. So here we go.
Wow. Steven's been gone for a while, so now he's got Geekdar piling up.
I know, it's crazy. So let me go back. The first thing I want to talk about is I watched Fubar on Netflix. It is Arnold Schwarzenegger's new TV series now that he is head of Netflix Action.
Oh, okay.
Actually, they're commercials. Netflix's commercials for their action movies has been kind of funny with Arnold, but that's a whole nother story.
Funny that it's called Fubar, because I think that term, the first time I remember that term, I think it was was it a Bruce Willis movie that I heard that in? Or
could be. Could be. Mm-hmm.
I'm not gonna give.
Was it Die Hard? Was it Die Hard?
Maybe it was Die Hard. No, it wasn't. No, it wasn't Die Hard.
Oh, okay.
No, I don't know. I'll have to look that up. But Yeah, I'm not giving the meaning of foobar.
Yeah, well, that's how it's used. So no spoilers, but it is a series. I thought it was just a movie. I was like, oh, it's a series, and it's an 8-episode series. And actually, it is not that bad. I was for being a Netflix show and stuff, and the premise is really interesting. And it moves quick. You know how I am with 8 episodes. Come on, if it's 8 episodes, you can probably make it into a movie, kind of a thing. It is the TV style of how they do things, but each episode is encapsulated. And kind of how they do it, I get it. But actually it wasn't that bad. So I really enjoyed it. The premise is he's retiring from, Black Ops CIA kind of a thing or whatever, but he's had to lie to his family. It cost him his marriage, that trope. So he gets pulled into one last mission. He's out of, they talk to him during his retirement party. They say, hey, we need to go get this asset. This asset is trapped. We need you to go get them. He goes, and the daughter that he's been lying to for 20 some odd years, who thinks he's
Who he is and what he does.
all that kind of a thing. Yeah. Is the agent that he has to. So now he's upset that he didn't even know that his daughter had gotten recruited, and she's upset about, the whole thing. So, and all that happens in the first episode, which is really good. They didn't draw it out, which I was very thankful for. And then it's just shenanigans of the two of them working together for the, learning about each other over the next, episodes. And then, yeah, and it does kind of set up for a season 2, sort of. No, it does. So
Okay, cool.
it was good. It was good.
I'll have
So
to
I
check
enjoyed that
out.
one.
I'll have to check that out.
It was worth watching. It's yeah, it's worth watching. So yeah, man, we're 17 minutes in. I'm looking at the time. That got distracted. Couple other things. I do at one point want to come back and talk about the Spider-Man 2099 and being in the latest movie.
Okay.
Because my wife Kelly and Troy saw it, and they said it made Spider-Man 2099, Miguel O'Hara, seem kind of like a jerk kind of a thing. And I was like, he's not a jerk, because I mean, I have all those original, 1994, those original series, and I absolutely adored the character. I was so excited to see him in it, kind of a thing. I was like, oh man. So I don't know, anybody, if you saw it, if you thought he was a jerk, let me know, because I was kind of upset about that.
Well, okay, and now that was last week's episode.
Yes.
With Theron and Brian.
Mm-hmm.
I felt that they were setting him up as a false flag bad guy, is what I felt they did.
Mm-hmm.
Spoiler alert.
Right.
He kind of feels like the bad guy. He feels like the bad guy in the trailers, but he's not the bad guy. So, if you want to know more, watch last week's episode or go watch.
That's right. That's right, everybody.
And then go back and watch last week's episode, which actually the audio just came out yesterday. So
nice.
Okay.
Yes.
Anything else on your geek?
Two things. One, for the first time, I watched a YouTube video. A friend of mine said, you need to watch this.
For the first time ever, you watched a YouTube video?
For the first time ever.
Wow, that's breaking news, dude.
Yep. So it's Warhammer 40K, and it was a clip that a fan had made called a Stardust, a Stardust. And it's just kind of I didn't realize how big the Warhammer world is. I mean, granted, it's 30 years of lore, but it's fascinating. This is a fan-made, computer-generated thing, and it is phenomenal. It's only like 10 minutes maybe, and it was really good. So now it got me interested in this world. So I'm kind of fascinated by it. So if you like guns and shooting and pew pew, kind of a thing, it's pretty cool. And then the other thing is next week maybe I hope to have a small short review on Peacock has Renfield is on it. So I'm getting ready to watch Renfield. It's Nicolas Cage. and it's when it came out, Nicolas Cage plays Dracula, but he has a servant called Renfield, and it's
Okay.
kind of Renfield's story of having to be in eternal servitude to Dracula or something to that effect or something.
Right.
So
Okay.
I don't know how I feel about that movie.
I don't know. He just looks so weird in that movie.
right. Oh, it's 100% Nicolas Cage. You know what I mean? I mean, it's just the
Unhinged.
Does Nicolas Cage ever play anything other than Nicolas Cage, though?
right.
I mean, heck, he has a movie about being Nicolas Cage. I haven't
Right.
seen that one yet, but
Right.
anyway,
He's done a lot of stuff lately. Okay. Anyway, there's my stuff. There's my
All right.
there's my guitar.
so I have two things on my Geektar. Last night I actually watched Legion of Superheroes, which is available on Max, not HBO Max, but Max.
Right.
It's decent. It's worth a watch. It's not my favorite DC animated movie, but if you're looking for something to watch, and I mean, I know it's Superman and mainly Supergirl oriented. I like Supergirl a lot. I thought she was great in it. Yeah, Brainiac 5 is in it, which was cool.
Ooh.
I was happy to see, and Mon-El's in it. Mon-El's an interesting character. Yeah, it's a fun watch. I'll just put it that way. It wouldn't be my highest, but it was definitely worth sitting down and watching if you're into DC animation. It's one. The other one, I didn't know I was gonna watch it, but I ended up watching it last night because my wife put it on and said, "There you go," and left the room. And I was like, "What just happened here?"
Yeah.
She put on Cocaine Bear.
Right on.
That movie is freaking hilarious.
It is,
Oh
isn't
my
it?
gosh.
Oh, golly.
Rather gory. I mean, it's
Yeah.
definitely not something for the kiddos, that's for sure. A lot of gore in it, but it is just silly as all get out.
It is
just
the right amount of outrageousness.
yeah. So the first person the bear kills, all of a sudden you see a leg come flying across the screen and everything. I started laughing. That's when Brenda left the room. I started laughing, and she goes, "Why is that funny?" I go, "Because it's ridiculous. That's
Right.
why.
Yeah.
It's just utterly ridiculous."
Yes.
I'm like, yeah, she just doesn't get that type of humor, and
Right.
it's kind of up my alley. So, I enjoyed it. I thought it was fun.
It was fun. I was surprised that it was Elizabeth Banks who directed it.
What shocked me is Alden Ehrenreich. Han Solo is one of the stars of the film.
Right? Did you catch that? I
didn't realize.
I didn't recognize him at first.
I didn't either. And then I
He
happened
didn't
to
have
be
the
looking,
Han Solo hair.
Yeah. Well, after I read it, I'm looking at him going, "Holy crap! It is Han Solo."
Yeah.
But I didn't realize it until I was looking at IMDb. I was looking at IMDb when the bear falls on top of him. And I'm looking at IMDb and I'm like, "Holy crap, Han Solo's in this. Oh my gosh, Han Solo's the one that got crushed by the bear." That's freaking hilarious, man.
Yeah.
So, yeah. So if you're just looking for something that's utterly ridiculous to watch Cocaine Bear.
Right.
Pretty funny.
Would you say it's comedy horror?
I guess I was trying to figure out how to classify that last night. I guess comedy horror is a good.
It's more comedy, but it has gory stuff because the bear
it's
people and
yeah,
stuff.
The bear attacks are pretty darn gory, actually.
Yeah.
Sometimes the bear's pretty ferocious looking. Sometimes the bear is just utterly goofy too. I mean,
Right.
the bear is supposed to be, stoned on cocaine. So
Right. And wanting more of it. That's the whole premise. Keeps sniffing it out like, okay, I know it's here somewhere.
Oh yeah. I if they do a sequel, yeah, I definitely want to see a sequel.
I've seen different memes of people doing the Cocaine Bear poster, but using different animals or different.
Well, my favorite was Cocaine Bear Goes to Rehab. That was my favorite.
Right. That's awesome that you got to watch that. That's awesome. Did you watch it on Peacock?
Yes, that's where we saw it. It was on Peacock.
Renfield's on Peacock, and I got the email that it popped up just for this weekend or whatever. So that's why
okay.
I'm gonna
Yeah,
watch it.
if I watch that, I'm going to watch it on Peacock. I'm definitely not
Right.
paying to go see that.
Yeah. Have you guys heard the joke about HBO Max and Peacock, where HBO Max dropped the first 3 letters of their name and now it's just Max? And so Peacock, some say Peacock posted, I don't know who posted it, but whatever, but it says, no, we are not dropping the first 3 letters of our name.
Well, I think I was telling Theron this last time, or maybe I was telling Brian. I don't know. I was telling one of them. The thing I had read about them changing the name was they wanted to be more known as more family oriented. And I'm like, wait a minute. You're taking the HBO. I think, yeah, it was Theron, because Theron's like, HBO stands for home box office. I go,
right.
yeah. And when I think Max, all I think is Cinemax. And then I think
Skinemax
After Dark or Skinemax.
Skinemax, right?
Exactly. I'm like, how is that family? I'm
surprised Cinemax hasn't said anything, because I mean, I associated Max with Cinemax.
I did too.
Yeah, I just thought that was weird. They'll probably rebrand
Again.
Like, whoops, we messed up. So
now we're just HBO.
Right. Now we're just HBO.
Or maybe we'll be Max HBO. There we go.
Yeah. What was it? But what did it was Discovery they fused with, right? They merged with?
Yes, Discovery.
And that's why, yeah.
So that, I don't know. I just don't get it. And it doesn't seem family friendly. The name doesn't seem family friendly to me, because, like I said, I think Max, which also begs the question, why again is Superman animated heading to Adult Swim? That again,
that's weird too. You've
weird.
got your own platform. Why not use it?
Right. I don't understand this. It doesn't make any sense.
But I am concerned for DC. Just I don't understand, and so yeah. Anyway, we'll wait and see. That's a whole nother episode, I'm sure.
When DC first had their app, their app for comic books, and they had all of the animation, or most of the animation, and they had most of the movies on their app, which was unique.
It was very unique.
And I thought that was an excellent idea. And then they said, nope, we're taking all that off. We're putting it over here. I don't even remember what they were calling that at that time, because they've changed brands so many times now. I'm confused of where the heck they're going with everything. So yeah, I'm a little concerned too. Even the Max menu, it no longer has the DC hub on the side. They took away the hubs before, because they had these nice little hubs that you could go to.
Yeah, the hubs aren't on there anymore?
Not that I could find.
I didn't renew the subscription. I took a break from it for a little bit.
Gotcha. I understand. But I mean, I still like a lot of their content, and I like the fact that I can get all my DC stuff there. So I kept it. But they had that nice little menu on the side that you could just go to the DC logo, and it brings up all the DC stuff. That's gone. Now I got to search for everything, and I don't like that.
Whoa. Yeah, I didn't renew just before they did the merge, because I was like, wait, let me take a break for a little bit and stuff, because there wasn't anything super new. And I thought, I'm gonna test I'm gonna do a month on, do a month off, do a month on, do a month off, because it's real easy to add and subtract it.
All right, we ready to jump into a little Keanu Reeves?
Let's do this.
All right.
It's time for the main event. second. Are you ready to rumble?
Wait a minute, I don't think you're supposed to say that.
Oh, I think you're right. I don't think we can say that.
Now we're gonna get blocked. We're gonna get sued, and we don't have any money. Hey, donate to our.
Right. Please donate to our Ko-fi page. If you want to hear more of the crazy zaniness that happens, please check out our website, fi.com/2geeks, or go to our website. Please use the www at 2geeksmike.com. We've upgraded our website, so please check it out. And you will find all of our sponsorships are on there on the site as well. So check a look at that. I'm kind of excited about those. Okay, enough of that.
Nice. Okay, Berserker. Berserker is a comic book series that followed the journey of an immortal warrior named B. Throughout history, B has been fighting in countless wars, conflicts, fueled by his incredible strength, endurance, and regenerative abilities. Despite his immortality, B is burdened by his eternal struggle and seeks to uncover the truth about his existence. In the present day, B takes on dangerous missions for the U.S. government, undertaking high-risk tasks in exchange for information that might help him find his purpose and achieve peace. The series explores themes of violence, mortality, and the consequences of life filled with perpetual warfare. Berserker is known for its intense action sequences, gripping storytelling, and thought-provoking themes with stunning artwork and
Enigmatic.
Thank you. Protagonist that the series captivates readers as they follow B's quest for understanding and redemption. It's created by Keanu Reeves, co-written by Matt Kint, and illustrated by Ron Garney. Berserker has gained significant attention for its unique blend of supernatural elements, compelling narrative, and the involvement of Reeves himself. It's a little breakdown of Berserker.
So kudos to you, Mike, for suggesting this. When I finally got to it and started, so I got a subscription to Amazon Comixology because I thought I'd give it a shot and try it, and it's all inclusive in there. I could not stop. Nice. You know, I'm at my night job, and I'm like, okay, I can take a break.
So you're reading it on your phone?
Well, I read it on my computer. I read it on my phone. I read it on my tablet. Whatever I could at the moment, at the time. I mean, that's how engrossed I was in this series. It just depended. I did not prefer my phone. I will say that I did not prefer.
Yeah, the phone's it's nice and convenient, but it's hard because you got to zoom in and zoom out, and it's kind of a pain. But
the computer, was the best.
I went old style, and I've got the actual copies.
So, that's a nice cover on that one.
Yeah, that's number 12. That's number 12, and it kind of shows Berserker sitting on a pile of bodies.
Yeah. So, but I want to talk about the premise of it, and then a little bit, the kind of the overview, and then I'll give my score here. The premise, it was original. I was afraid, to be open with you, because when I saw covers, I saw it with guns and stuff. I'm like, oh, I wonder if this is just a John Wick, as I said, the opening, John Wick 2.0.
And I've described it as John Wick on steroids, actually. That is how I've described it.
Yeah. But it really is an original story.
Yes, it is.
It was intriguing. I was like, what in the world's going on? I mean, there was a mystery box to this whole thing. And it was, I wanted to know.
Sure you liked it? You're about to fall asleep over there.
I know, right? I'd wanted to know more. I mean, yes, there's the elements of the battles, and we can get into those and stuff. And that was not the main theme, and I thought it would be. I thought my main thing would be, oh, let's see how cool he is in all these different battles, which we do get.
Yeah.
But it was all centered around all of the battles had purpose.
Sure.
All of
Yep.
them did. And it wasn't just, oh, let's just throw in battles for battle's sake. So story-wise, it was well done.
Well, and you got battles in different eras because he's supposed to be like, I don't know,
80,000 years old.
right? Yeah. He again, he's an immortal. He can't die. So you have the theme of that, of immortality, whether immortality is actually a good thing or if it's a bad thing.
Right.
I think over the years and all of the movies that we've watched, I think we've come. I think most of us would have come to the realization that immortality is not actually a good thing. Of course, Sandman, the movie or the TV series Sandman, also addressed that with somebody that he made immortal, and that had an interesting twist to it that I liked. But you know, but yeah, I like the theme of this book. Or these books, I should say, because it's a series of 12.
It is, yes.
And I've got one. I hate to say trade because usually the trade is the full series. So I don't know what it's volumes 1 through 4 because I couldn't find. I got 1 and 2, and then I couldn't find 3 and 4 anywhere. I was looking for them, and then I found.
Oh, you bought the single issues of 1 and 2, but couldn't find the single issues of 3 and 4. So you got the trade, which is 1 through 4.
Right, which is 1 through 4. I think all 12 may be out now. They're in 3 separate books.
I don't know if the third book is out.
Okay, all right.
I don't know. I don't know to be open. So I know 1 and 2 because that's how I watched it. I borrowed in Comixology volume 1 and volume 2, not the single issues, but the groupings. And I liked them because there was extra art with them.
So then did you finish it off with the single issues?
Yeah, I had to buy I borrowed single issue 9 and single issue 10, but I had to purchase 10 or 11 and 12.
Well, when I found out Keanu was directly involved in this, I wanted to buy them and I wanted to have them physically. So, because as far as I know, he hasn't been involved in comic books before. So I thought this was a unique project, and he seemed very passionate about it. So yeah, I thought, okay, cool. This will be worth a series worth buying, you know? So,
yeah. So we're already kind of giving our score.
Yeah. So what are we picking for a scale for this one? This is kind of hard. There's nothing really.
Let's do Eagle Crest. I don't know what else to call it, but it was one of my favorite panels.
Yeah,
was the Eagle Crest that made him mortal.
Okay, all right, Eagle Crest. All right, on a scale of 1 to 10, 1 being the worst, 10 being the best, I would give this 8. 8 out of a 10.
Yep, solid 8 for me too as well. Solid 8.
The story is great. The artwork is fantastic. I loved all the artwork throughout this series. Very unique stuff too. If you're into comic book art, for nothing else, at least go check that out.
It's a unique style. Let's say that. It's a unique style.
And sometimes unique doesn't mean good. But in this case, I say it's good. I enjoyed the artwork in this one. And to me, artwork is important in a comic book. You know, comic books, you have to have a great story, and you have to have very good art to back up that story. You know, I've read comic books where the art is fantastic, and I love looking at every panel and go, where the heck's the story in this thing? And then I've read ones where the story is just amazing and the art completely sucks.
Yeah.
And I'm going, okay, this would be fantastic if they would have got a better artist, but they just didn't want to pump out the money for that. So this comic does not fail in either of those aspects. The story is very good, and the comic art is very good. Both of them keep you intrigued. You want to look at every panel and take everything in, and take in every moment of the story. So I recommend this if you're a Keanu Reeves fan and you like the action, that the style of action that he's known for. Yeah, you're going to enjoy this series.
Yeah, absolutely. There's a lot of fun little Easter eggs and stuff in there, in the series, but as a whole, it was well worth the time and money to get into the Berserker world, and I'm looking forward to a sequel, if that makes sense.
Yeah, where do you think they'll go with the sequel? I mean, well, okay.
Well, we got a lot of other stuff to go to.
Yeah,
then we'll come back to
yeah,
it. But anyway.
I do want to throw that around where they might go with the sequel on this, though, because I am interested in that. Yeah, so we find out that B, or as we also find out, his name is a nut. I think that's how it's pronounced.
I didn't know how to pronounce it. I just like, okay, that's his born name.
That's the bad thing about comic books. They introduce you to words and you're going, how is it? Well, and books is the same way too. It's like, how is this actually pronounced? And then you're waiting for either an audio of it to come out or
right.
A movie and go, oh, I was pronouncing it right, or
right. Thank goodness for Mark Thompson and Star Wars. I'm just
right. And you pronounce something for so long, and then the audio or the movie comes out, and you're like, that's not the way that's pronounced.
Right.
So yeah, we find out that his name is a nut or something like this. Now that was a question I had, because he seemed not to like that name, because it kind of insinuated that he's a killer, the meaning of the name and such, or at least that's the way I took it in the story.
Interesting. Okay.
But yet the kind of the love interest of the story, she calls him that.
Mm-hmm.
That's all she calls him. Everybody else calls him B.
Mm-hmm.
So I found that interesting, because it's almost like, yeah, you're the only one that can get away with calling me that name.
Mm-hmm. I took it as she's the one who's trying to help him remember his past and those kinds of things. And I thought, well, maybe it's just meant to be a trigger to help him remember things and working through that stuff, which was very unique. But that's interesting. I never thought of it as just being that the whole thing with only you can get away with that.
Well, there was something I had read, I've kind of been reading it off and on over the last couple weeks. And there was something that I had read early on in the series that led me to believe that he didn't like being called that. And I don't know. And then she starts calling him that. And I was like, whoa, wait a minute. How come she can get away with it?
Mm-hmm.
So, but yeah, you could be right. That could be a way for a trigger to, help unlock memories and such, because that's what she's trying to do, is unlock his memories of the things that he's done in the past, to try and figure out who exactly he is and what exactly his purpose in life is.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know if we really found out his purpose in life, though.
Right.
Other than to kill and destroy.
Well, in the beginning, the whole thing with his mom was, going to quote unquote their gods to pray for, protector. Yeah, because their village kept getting raided and all that kind of stuff. And boy, a protector they got. Holy cow.
Well, I mean, hell, they sent you Keanu Reeves.
Right.
Keanu Reeves has been a badass all these years. I still think back to those early days of his career, and I think back of Bill and Ted, and I'm like, how did we get from
Bill and Ted?
Yeah, Ted. I think he was Ted. I always get them confused. I forget who's who, but how did we get from Bill and Ted to John Wick?
Right.
Pretty amazing journey, And now BRZRKR. Berserker, because if you have not read Berserker and you think John Wick is total badass, yeah, you ain't seen nothing yet.
Right. It's almost like he's a cross between Deadpool because of the regenerative abilities. It's very much Deadpoolish.
He's got a bit of Wolverine in him too, because the whole Berserker thing. That's
the
that
rage
is total,
thing.
the total Wolverine rage there. So
then plus the John Wick, not in the aspect of an assassin, but in the aspect of a military fighter.
Yes, agreed.
A soldier.
Knowledge of weapons, fighting styles, that kind of thing. That's where I would compare him to John Wick. Wow. So we've got a combination of Deadpool, Wolverine, and John Wick.
Right.
I mean, wow.
And Arnold Schwarzenegger Commando. That kind of thing. Yeah. I will say this. Here was a big surprise. When you had given me a heads up, but when I started reading the first one, I was like, whoa, this is gory.
Yes, it is. It's
very gory. I was actually a little surprised how gory it was. I mean, it wasn't, I mean, for a comic book, it could have been different or worse. It wasn't, I mean, the stuff of what's happening is gory, but it didn't dwell on the gore to a certain degree. But I was like, holy cow.
Now, I got a question.
Yes.
So in the past, we've talked about Carnage, and I was always a big fan of Maximum Carnage back in the day.
Yeah.
And you're very vocal. You never liked Maximum Carnage.
Right.
How would you compare this to Maximum Carnage?
Great question. That's a good question.
I knew that.
I say that all the time now. I'm in meetings and stuff like that. Somebody else, I'm like, oh, that's a good question. I'm like, I'm gonna get fired for this one day.
Sorry.
I say it in love and respect. I mean,
Well, of course. All right. Let me give some perspective to that quote.
Yes.
That comes from my old days of working as a busser at Red Lobster restaurant, and there was a Japanese lady who worked at Red Lobster, and I don't remember exactly what was said, but something was said to her, and she went, "Oh, that's a good question." So
I know what it was.
Well, we won't go into everything, but anyway, so that's where that comes from.
Right.
It is only meant out of love and respect for Saku. Saku was the one who said that.
Yeah. So to answer, I think it's the world building of what it is. Marvel, it was so out of character for me for the Marvel universe, what the body counts were of people dying in Maximum Carnage. And at that time, that's just how I view that. I mean, whether right or wrong, I just had a certain sense of it. It so threw me out of the story in Maximum Carnage because I was like, whoa, this is so over the top kind of a thing for me. Here in Berserker, it sets up that world as such. From the very beginning, when he ages rapidly or gets to an adult stage really rapidly, kind of a thing. But that first encounter, man, it was no holds barred.
Right.
I mean, it was, and it just set the pace, kind of a thing. So I think that's why it was a little different, maybe because of the world building, maybe, or my expectations of the rules of that universe.
I would also guess that Berserker has more of a purpose in his killing than what Carnage does. However, like I used to explain to you with Carnage, his name is Carnage. Carnage means to destroy, but Berserker is similar to that.
It is similar. It's the whole Berserker rage thing.
Right. It's the Berserker rage, which is, again, plays into like the whole Wolverine when he goes into his rages and just blind killing and such.
I'm glad you made the similarity or the analogy or the connection to Wolverine, because I do see him more of a Wolverine character now that you mentioned that, rather than an elite special ops kind of individual who happens to have an incredible regenerative thing. He is a demigod, for lack of a better term,
Sure.
or very godlike, who has this rage, but and is really good at killing and can take a hit, several hits, kind of a thing.
Well, I think Wolverine is the perfect comparison to him, because Wolverine has worked in Black Ops type situations and stuff. I wouldn't consider him like an elite soldier or anything like that. I mean, he's no Nick Fury or
There is the similarity of not knowing it. Well, Wolverine not knowing your past, but
right.
his thing is not really knowing his past. His past is not a big deal as much as what is his purpose. And that's the quintessential question for our, for the time period that we are in, is what is my purpose?
Sure.
And I thought that was a great connect. And, here's a guy who's been 80,000 years and he still doesn't know his purpose. Ouch.
And he's went through different loves and watched them all die, watched them age and die. And, and that brings up the whole idea of, we as humans embrace this immortality. We want to be immortal. Before the podcast, you and I were discussing us getting older and not being able to do the things we used to be able to do when we were young.
Right.
And which is very true. But this whole comic brings up the story brings up the whole idea of, should we embrace immortality? Is it all that it's cracked up to be? And we've embraced that question before. We've talked about it in Sandman, and I think we've talked about it in other types of stories and such. But I think this one's really good, and I really like the way he's not trying to grasp onto his immortality. He's actually trying to get rid of it, which I thought was fairly unique for the story.
Agreed. That was the whole reason to go through all the tests and stuff, because he wanted to let go of his immortality, figure out how to let go of it to be done. I figured after 80,000 years, I mean, sure.
I mean, you've seen everything at that point. There's like nothing that could be new to him at that point, So yeah, what does he have left? But
I liked it was interesting because even they talked about how he may know lost languages and stuff, and he did know lost languages, and just all that he's experienced and stuff. So yeah, absolutely.
Well, I also I thought it was interesting because he's basically working for the government. He's working for the U.S. government, and it's almost like, well, the U.S. government's wanting to study him, and we all know why the U.S. government,
why they want to do it, right?
Exactly. They're wanting to create more of him to create the perfect soldier,
right?
So on and so forth. I mean, that's pretty cliche there.
That's Captain America,
right? Well, it's Captain America. It's Deathstroke. It's Deathlock. I mean, we could go down the gamut of characters that RoboCop.
Yeah.
I mean, yeah, same thing. But yeah, the government's trying to basically figure out a way to copy him more or less. And of course they're working on doing it. And then he's trying to get information from the US government as much as he can to try and figure out his past and such. So it's an interesting relationship he has with the government.
Yeah. So the guy who's kind of heading up, who's kind of behind the scenes, or who's the employer to the lady who's doing a lot of the work. And I love it how I've got all these degrees and PhDs. I'm thinking, you are too young to have that many PhDs.
Well,
But-
maybe not today.
right.
You know, you can go on the internet and buy
Right. Right. Speaking of which, guess what I'm doing this afternoon? No, I'm just kidding.
right.
Um,
You could be a minister for $10.
for $10 for $10.99. Right. Oh my goodness, that's funny. I would say, man, that would have been easier. I wouldn't have spent 8 years and thousands of dollars, and all that time in book reading and
Okay,
library reading.
you remember Jason, our friend Jason Tessmer,
Yeah.
when he got married. Unfortunately, they're divorced now. But when he got married, one of his best friends, Mike, I can't think of Mike's last name. Anyway, Mike was the one who
did the wedding.
did the wedding. And he went online and got some certificate.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
And that was years ago, by the way.
Right.
It's probably even easier today.
I need to set up my own online ordination thing. I
There
could probably
you
get away with it. Make some money.
We are not promoting unethical.
The
The opinions of Stephen Boster are not held by two geeks. I want to state that now.
Right. All right. Back to the show. Sorry, we digress. How did we get here?
I have no clue.
I don't remember either. That's so funny. Hey, everybody, welcome to the show. Great to have you here with us today. We just two guys enjoying just random talking about comic books and such. But Berserker, the guy, I had all these PhDs, but the guy that employed her, what did you think about his character? I saw it coming that he was some kind of cult leader. I got that. I saw that.
He was probably the most cliche thing in the whole series. You know, I kind of got the what's his name, the Colonel or whatever in the Hulk. You know, he becomes the Red Hulk, and which we're about to see in the next set of Marvel films. Harrison Ford's, by the way, taking over that role. But yeah. Oh, you didn't know that? Yeah, he's taking over that because the guy that played that role died,
passed away. So right.
Harrison Ford's going to be the Red Hulk.
The new
yeah, I cannot think of his name now.
Yeah,
Colonel whatever. Anyway,
you're right. Anyway, go ahead.
I digress. Yeah, I felt he was probably the most cliche character in the whole series because I knew right away. You know, it's like, yep, this is the guy. He's the one who wants to be the berserker. You know, he's the one with all the real evil intentions. You know, the government wants to create more of them, but they want to at least create them with the sense of protecting the country. And this guy just wants it just for his own evil.
He wants the power.
Right.
Ultimate power. Right.
And you can feel whatever way you want about the government's motives and such. I mean, yeah, you can take those as good or bad, however you want, but his are nothing but bad.
It was all selfish.
Right.
It's all means to an end to get him the ability and that power. Let me ask you, there's two things I want to hit, especially with you, because I really want to get your insights and opinion. Number one is, let's talk about the evil guy. Do you think he's still alive at the end of that?
Oh, that's a good question. Yeah, I'm not sure.
I mean, because he just got ripped apart. I mean,
well, yeah, he did get ripped apart, and then we get
this great tension because Berserker was then mortal at that point in time.
Right.
You know,
right.
Like, oh, but he's like, I still know how to fight 80,000 years.
That's when Berserker gets demoted to John Wick.
Right on. Okay, that was good.
Because you know he's still going to be a total badass. He just not going to be quite what he was. That's all.
Right.
You know, that's a good question. I don't know. Because we did kind of get introduced to a second Berserker. Because we also find out the government's Frankensteining one together.
Oh, there's a whole bunch of them.
Well, yeah, because then we have the kids.
That's right. Well, no, the kids that was with the girl. They had, you know, there was some weird supernatural weird stuff that went on that I still don't understand at all. But that was natural. But there was remember they were trying to clone and make all those clones and they all got activated, but then they died or something like that, or they killed him. I can't remember now.
Okay, yeah, but I don't know. But you still got the kids. You got this Franken Zerker,
Mhm.
Franken-Zerker running
You got
around.
the kids. Yeah, he and the girl have the two kids, the twins that grow up, and then they actually have the berserker as well.
Right.
And then
But they're actually his kids. So
yes,
I mean that's
he
kind of a reason for him to continue at least.
agreed. I thought that was really good. Yes, and then because he regenerated, for lack of a better term, like he died.
Yes.
He regenerated, but he was like, "Yeah,
I'm not done yet.
I'll get back to you. I will find my way back to you," which was a nice little romantic thing. I will find my way back to you. But then you see it's like, but then the panel comes out and shows kind of where he's at. And he's like, because you don't know where he is. And he's like, yeah, it may take a little while.
Right. So that alludes that his immortality is not actually gone then.
Right.
I mean, that's the
It's
way I
not
think.
confined to just his body.
Right.
Mhm.
So I'm not sure how I feel about it. I mean, of course you want him to go on because you want the comic book to continue. You want there to be another series. And I mean, they could have just continued it to where he doesn't die and he's just immortal. And like I said, he's demoted to John Wick at that point, which I sometimes question how John Wick can survive some of the crap that he survives too.
Right.
Which is why I've called Berserker John Wick on steroids.
Right. John Wick can't die. That's why there's a 5th movie coming out.
Is there a 5th movie? I haven't seen
Rumor.
the 4th,
It's rumor.
well,
Yeah.
I don't know how the 4th ended yet. So, yeah, I don't see him stopping that series yet.
Right.
I think as long as Keanu wants to continue him, they'll continue him.
As long as they're making money.
So yeah, I thought it was interesting that he has the kids, and they obviously have the Berserker gene. So the big question is, are the kids immortal too? Do they? We have no idea.
We don't know for sure.
I mean, we know they're tough, and we know that they can kill like he does.
Right. Which you would presume, but we just don't know for sure.
Right.
I think they are, because the way things happen between the girl, because the girl, she got powers or she got abilities and stuff. And then that's why the two, it's almost like she became immortal to a certain degree, possibly.
Well, it doesn't really state that she's immortal.
But she's got abilities, but that's true. Good point.
So,
yeah, good point.
Yeah, I have no idea if they're immortal, if she's immortal, and
that's the thing, everybody. The conversation continues because the way it ended, there's so many things it doesn't quite fully explain that you're like, what's happening, or what?
You there?
Yes, I am. Just honest. But something happened.
I hear you.
Oh, that's good. Do you see me?
Yeah, I see you.
Oh, okay.
How many fingers do I got?
I know. I can't see all my monitors.
Oh, you can't see me? Oh, really?
I cannot see you. Every single one of my monitors went down. That's so weird.
Dang.
Oh, hey, it must have been a monitor timer.
You have a monitor timer? Okay.
No, I didn't know that till just now. I haven't touched the computer in like an hour, so because we've been talking.
Well, that's weird.
It is. All right. Anyway, so there's so many unanswered questions, or how things happened, or why. There's so much lore to be discovered. Like, how did this happen? Like, how did he die? Then all of a sudden he regenerates in a little alien cocoon. You know, that's what it reminded me of.
That was a good comparison. I didn't even think about that.
And then he pops out and you're like, oh, where is he? You know, kind of a thing. So, but they could still talk to each other telekinetically, which was interesting. You remember how they introduced that? They introduced there like he was with a civilization that connected telepathically. And I was like,
they're just sitting there.
Didn't I? Telepathic is the mind. Yeah.
Yeah, telepathic.
Talking mind. But
I liked it when she comes out and he and the one guy says, can you read my mind too? And she goes, do I need to?
And yes, you do, by golly.
Yeah, right.
Yes, you do.
But it was a great line. I
It
mean,
was a great line.
that sounds like something I would have said if I came out of
Right.
that,
Do I
in that
need to?
situation. Do I need to?
Yeah. I was like, oh, he's asking for a reason.
Exactly. That was good. Yeah, even though it kind of leaves you asking a lot of questions, I still overall really enjoyed the series. I think it's great. Again, I think if you're a Keanu Reeves fan, you're into his style of action. I think you'll enjoy these books. I think they're good.
Yep. Yep. Very
And
much
I do
so.
look forward to a sequel. I'm curious of where they'll go with the sequel. You know, will the sequel be more focused around the kids, since the kids are now here?
I'm
and they're
sure it's a whole family. So it's probably him journeying back to them and then they getting to him. But I'm hoping
we
there's
got a
more
family
lore.
of berserkers.
Ain't no planet safe.
Don't screw with them.
Right?
Oh man.
It's
Oh
good.
man, maybe he'd be good for a versus match.
John Wick versus Berserker.
Oh, I think Berserker wins that. No, I was thinking more Berserker versus Deadpool, though.
Oh, maybe.
Who wins that one?
Then you have to do Deadpool versus Wolverine.
Yeah, well,
With the movie with Deadpool 3 coming out, we should totally do a
oh yeah, we might have to do that.
right as a pre-show or road to Deadpool 3.
Road to Deadpool 3.
Yep.
I am so looking forward to Deadpool 3. Just because it's got Wolverine, and I'm a big Wolverine fan. I love Wolverine, so
right.
I think this will be the best Deadpool movie yet.
There's high expectations. That is true.
Yeah, they better be good.
Yep. Yep.
I mean, I'll take an hour and a half of just Wolverine and Deadpool pummeling each other.
Right.
I'm okay with that.
Yep. All right. Well, whew, what a show, everybody. Thanks for joining us, man. We had a lot of stuff at this episode, so we really appreciate you hanging out with us and talking all kinds of geekdom. So it's been a lot of fun. Please sure to put into the comments. Let us know your thoughts. We covered a lot of different things, and we'd love to hear from you. Have you read Berserker? What were your thoughts about Berserker? We do want to know. Inquiring minds want to know.
Does it live up to Keanu Reeves' past, stories?
Yes. There is one little Easter egg in there. Do you remember the meme of sad Keanu sitting on the park bench and stuff?
Yes.
That they made that into a panel into the comic.
Nice.
It's it's in the first book.
Cool.
Kind of a thing, which I thought was funny. So yep. All right. Well, cool. Well, hey, everybody, please check us out. Please go to our website at www.twogeeksmike.com. If you kind of want to see that, everybody pretty excited about it. Here, watch this. Steven is going to share his screen because I want to show everybody the website. So we've kind of redone our website. I'm pretty excited about it. 2 Geeks and a Microphone. There's links to our Ko-fi page. It's all on one page. So here's our welcome to the discussion with a link that goes to our it's not scrolling down on the screen.
You broke it.
I broke it.
Steven, you broke the website.
I'm scrolling down, but it's not showing on the screen. That's weird.
Maybe you just broke StreamYard then.
Maybe I broke it.
I guess they just won't let us show our webpage.
I'm gonna try this again. There we go. I tried something different. So here is where it talks about our show, when we're on, and then if you want to click to our YouTube channel, there's a link there. Then if you want to hear the podcast, pretty there. You can click to our latest 10 episodes are on here. And then upcoming shows, these are the ones that we've actually gone through. We'll start replacing some of this with certain blogs on all the links to those sites. This is the one we're talking about today. And then if you want to become a supporter of Ko-fi for us, kind of some of the benefits that you get with that, and a click to our merch page. Save it for the podcast.
Oh, nice. I like the one you picked.
Yeah, thanks. And then our team and then our affiliate sponsors, just a shout out Audible. You can click on these. They're so you can check out all their really cool. If you've never signed up before, you should try it out. Get a free audiobook, see what you think, what you like about it. StreamYard, who we use for our streaming, for our live shows. We love it. We love StreamYard.
Which we are now live on Twitter, by the way.
Right on. Then we've got Podbean, and then Lit is a new video book summary site. So I'm pretty excited about that. So we are an affiliate sponsor with them too, which is cool. All kinds of business books, self-help books, and things like that. And then you'll start seeing more blogs. We'll have our blogs will pop up here of different maybe reviews that we have. Reviews on the show, which has been cool. Our email and then the site. And so yeah, we remember everybody. We apologize that we were kind of out. we didn't have a website up for a little bit, so we've done that, and we're I'm pretty excited about the work that we've got into that. So it's been good.
So please go check out our website. Shoot us an email if you got any comments or questions. Make sure and go and like and subscribe on both Facebook and where's the big one? I don't know where the big one is. Dang it. Nope. I can't find it. Oh, well. Anyway, make sure and like and subscribe to us on both Facebook and... there we go. Megan found it. Thank you.
No, Steven did.
Oh, Steven did.
He beat me to it.
Okay. Anyway, make sure you like and subscribe to us on Facebook. Yay! I try to post a lot of memes on there and stuff. Also, any information that of upcoming shows and stuff.
Yes.
Shared, that's usually the best place to go for information on the show itself. And other than that, make sure and like us and subscribe on YouTube. Give the bell a tickle. That way you can know when any upcoming shows or lives are coming up. I'll probably have the upcoming for next is in another hour or so after Steven and I are done here. Next week's will be The Flash versus Quicksilver. And then the week after that will be the Flash movie review.
Right on.
All right.
Sounds good. Nope, that covered it. Great show, everybody. Good to be back.
Good to have you back, Steven.
Thanks, man.
I mean, it was great having Theron and Brian. Love those guys. Thank you to both of you for filling in, and we will see more of you in the future, too. So with that said, over and out. I don't have a good Berserker line, really. It wasn't really a good line. So over and out. May the Force be with you. Thank you for joining us today on the Two Geeks and a Microphone podcast. Tune in next week when we will have more news and reviews. Until then,
may the Force be with you.